Okay, so after we are done with sculpting, painting, creating a material, even compositing and getting a render out of him, it's time to make a base, a key, and basically just create a 3D print ready model out of him so that we can actually do a 3D printing. So in order to do that, the first thing we're gonna have to do is to create a base. So that's the first thing that we are gonna be doing, and it is important to know where the base is supposed to be. So I'll just add a cylinder because I want a cylindrical base. Now the position of the cylinder is pretty important, and as you can see that I've also applied the scale, which is a good thing, a good habit by the way. So the position of the base needs to be accurate, because if it does not going to be accurate, and if you were to create a key like this, it is just going to fall, right? I mean, the gravity is gonna work and it is just going to fall. There is no way that it could like stay on the base unless you make the base pretty heavy, which we don't want, or pretty big, just like that, which is also something that we don't want. So the solution for this problem is we need to put the base a little bit in front. So if I were to just remove the annotation now, and let me just put the base in front on the y-axis like this, we can get the tiger to balance itself out and won't fall. So first thing that I am gonna do is I'm gonna be increasing the size of the base a little bit, and the key is going to be like this. I really hope that it makes sense. By the way, this is how the key is going to be, and it is just going to prevent the tiger from falling, and we are just gonna be using this. So you can see that I'm still just adjusting the base a little bit, and now I'm just going to apply the scale. And first thing that I am gonna do is I am gonna be adding the subdivision surface by pressing Ctrl 3. So now let's just select the faces on top on the and on the bottom, and create a crease by Shift E. And yeah, we basically have this. And now what I want to do, I want to like taper it from the top, and in order to do that I can also just increase the bottom face. And now you can see that we have a taper, so it is just gonna look better this way. Now I'm just going to add an edge loop and bevel it. So this is to create equal amount of edge loops in the top and bottom so that we can actually extrude them out. And you can actually press Shift Z. And the reason that you can actually press Shift Z is if you were to press Alt S, you can see that they're not coming out straight, like straight out, and we are getting these lines which we don't want. On the top, we want the top and the bottom to be flat. So in order to do that, we can just press Shift Z and scale them out. I mean, after pressing S, press Shift Z. I really hope that you know a little bit of modeling, by the way. This is not a modeling tutorial, but I just wanted to show you how I have created the base. If you are a beginner and don't know this much, like just watch beginner tutorials, and you should be able to just know all this stuff. And now that I have created a base, what I can do, I can actually select these outside edge loops and remove them. So now just click N and then go into your item, and the mean tree is going to get to 0, and we basically have this smoothen out what do you call it, the edge is basically smoothed out now. And now we can actually just add the text. So in order to do that, press Shift A, obviously go to your text, and just press in your own name over here. Not press in, but type. I cannot speak. But type in your own name, and as you can see, I have just typed in the tiger because that's just how people call me. So yeah, that's not true. Yep, unfortunately, it's not true. Now I'm just going to select the font, and with this font I can just make this text look a little bit better. And now we need to add a little bit of thickness. So in order to do that, you can just go to your geometry and then extrude it a little bit. So this is important because you cannot actually print the flat part in a 3D printer, right? You have to give it a little bit of depth. And now just rotate it on the x-axis to make it stand. So just do that, and we're gonna have to use the curve in order for this text to get curvy. And yeah, this is basically what we need to do next. So I'm just going to add the circle curve, and we want to use this curve in order to make this text bend, so that we can actually just put this text on the base. So I am also gonna be putting the curve where the origin of the base is. And this is not the origin of the base, by the way. Let me put the 3D cursor to the base, and then just select the curve and put the curve at the 3D, like at the base. And now that we have the curve at the base, we can just select the tiger, the text tiger, and now we can just choose the base and select the curve. So this is what we have, and it obviously is not working, and the reason is we're gonna have to push it out on the y-axis, not the x, actually on the y-axis, you can see. So this is what we have. And if you were to put it on the on the positive y-axis, you are going to get something like this. So you're gonna have to put it on the negative y, I think, or maybe on the positive y. We're gonna have to figure it out this much. So just rotate it a little bit, and you should be able to get this right. So you can see the tiger is flipped, and we need to fix that. So in order to do that, you can actually just rotate it, and I am going to rotate it on the I am still just moving it on the y-axis, by the way. So just rotate it on the z-axis, I guess. Yeah, just rotate it on the z-axis by 180 degree, and it should actually fix it. So you can see that we have the tiger in the right orientation. So now we just need to fix some stuff. For example, you can see after bending, it is not actually as smooth as we wanted to, and that's because the polygons right now are stretching. And we need to make sure that the polygons don't actually stretch like this. So in order to fix that, we need to make sure that we remove the stretching. So in order to do that, I am going to be removing the modifier, or you can also just disable it and then just convert it into a mesh. And now you can just go to your sculpt mode and then do a remesh. So if you were to do a remesh, we are going to get same amount of polygons everywhere. And then if we were to bend it, it is not going to give us artifacts just like we were getting before. One thing that you can also do is you can actually do a little bit of smooth. So if you were to go to the mesh filter and then just go to the smooth, you can smooth it out a little bit so that the surface itself is gonna be a little bit better. And now you can see that we are actually getting some bevel, so that's pretty nice. And now I can actually just go to the object mode and then re-add the modifier, because when we convert it to the mesh, it basically just removes the modifier. So now you can see that we have this, but we are getting this line, and the line is here because the resolution of our curve is not good enough. So I'm just going to increase the resolution to 256, and then we can actually just put it at the right place. So in order to do that, you can see that the temper that we have is not really matching with the angle of the tiger. So we're gonna have to rotate it on the x-axis so that this angle basically matches. And now we're just going to push it down on the z-axis. We also need to scale it down a little bit, you can see. So scale it down, just basically it's just the thing of adjustments. Adjust it like you want it to be adjusted, and it should actually be good enough. So now I am going to push it on the x-axis to put it on the side like this, so that we can see whether the taper is actually working or not. Basically, I want the text to be parallel with the surface of my base. And in order to do that, I am just moving him on the x-axis so that I can just put it in the front. So this is the front. Obviously, the tiger is going to be in the front. And now I can just press 3 to look at it from the side view. And you can see in the bottom we have less space, and on the top we have more space. So we're gonna have to rotate him on the x-axis. And yeah, now just eyeball it, and it should actually be good enough. So yep, we do have the text. You can push it out by moving it on the y-axis, and we have the text now. The next thing that we need to add to the base is the close, because right now the other part of the base is looking pretty empty, and we need to add something over there to make it look a little bit better. So in order to do that, I am not gonna delete the close, by the way. In order to do that, you can actually just search for the tiger claw, and you're gonna be able to get an image like this. So just download this image, and after that, if you were to search SVG or image to SVG online, you are gonna get to a website like this called Online Convert. It does not convert your religion, it does actually convert your image to SVG format, and you can actually just choose the image that you have downloaded, and we can just press on start after the uploading is done. And now you can see that it is actually processing, so we just gonna have to wait, and it is done. So let's just download it, and I have already like downloaded it 2 times, so yep, you can see. Okay, now we can actually just import it by clicking on file, import, and then import SVG, and just locate wherever you have that downloaded. So you can see that you basically cannot see where the curves are, so just select those curves. You can see on the right side we have a separate collection for them, so this is where the curves are. And then just go into the local view and scale them up. Obviously just adjust them, we are gonna be just adjusting them. You can also join them together, cause why not, right? And after you are done with joining them, you can actually extrude them out like this. Obviously you can like reduce a little bit of resolution if you feel like that it is kind of heavy for your computer, so you can just decrease the resolution. In my case, I am not gonna be doing that. I have actually tried to create some bevel, but it didn't work out, so that's okay. We can actually just put it beside the tiger now. So let's just rotate it. I am basically just trying to you know adjust everything at this point. I don't think that this is a step by step thing. Every single one of these objects are going to be adjusted differently, so it is gonna be totally up to you how you would approach these. And now that we have these, we can actually just convert them into an object. Basically we are gonna be doing the same thing. We want to remesh them so that after the bending is done, we can actually just we can actually just I cannot speak for some reason, but after the bending is done, we don't get any artifact that we get in the tiger text. So I am basically just doing the same thing, and you can see I have just remeshed it, I think. Oh no, it is not done. I think I'm gonna do it now. But after the remesh is done, you're gonna realize that the polygons are a bit too much, and we also duplicate them a little bit. You can see I've also tried smoothing them out, but it didn't really work, so I had to undo it. And now we're just gonna be adjusting them and using the same thing. So basically just gonna be using the curve modifier and just doing the same thing. And yeah, let's actually just do that. So this is what we have, and let's scale it down and see. So this is how it is, and let's just push it back a little bit. Okay, we have to rotate him on the x-axis as well. So pretty much the same thing that we've done with the text. You can press Control 3, I think, from the different view, and okay, yep. Let's actually rotate him again, and I mean this is just something that I'm figuring out as at the scene. Like this is not something pre-planned, right? For every different object, you're gonna have to approach differently, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. Now in this case, you cannot actually add the array modifier because we have rotations and everything, but I'll show you why. You can see that we are not really gonna be getting them straight. So the solution to this is, you can like see, I am literally just showing you. So you cannot add the array. Instead you're gonna have to duplicate them and then move them on the x-axis. So this is what I'm going to be showing you. So you can see that I am in the edit mode, and you can just move it on the x-axis, and after that you can actually just press shift R so that Blender would repeat your command. So let me just show it to you again. Just duplicate it on the x-axis. I mean move it on the x-axis. So duplicate, move it on the x-axis, you can see. And now you just place it at the distance that you want, and then just keep on pressing shift R to, okay, wait, I have just deleted that, but that's what I actually wanted to show you. So I'm gonna do it again because obviously if you have two of these, the distance might change and I don't want that. So let's just do it again. So duplicate them like I am about to do, and move it on the x-axis, and just make sure that the distance is right for you. And then when you are done, just press shift R to repeat the command, and now you should be able to just create something like this. And that's basically how I have created the base. And now you can actually just select all of these and just move them around to adjust them a little bit because they are not at the center right now. So you can go to the select and then select linked, then just select the object data, and you should be able to just select every single one of these. Now all you need to do is you need to just move them on the x-axis until they are in the center. So just make sure that the distance on both of these sides are actually equal, and you should be good to go. Now you can join them together because we are gonna use the boolean, and it should be better to just join them together and then just use the boolean for once instead of using the boolean multiple times because of those multiple objects. So I have joined them together, and now we can actually start preparing it for the 3D printing. And yeah, this is basically what we are going to be doing now. So you can see that I am going to be decimating it first, and the reason is we don't need the amount of polygons we have right now because the boolean process is going to be longer, and then the slicing software might not be able to handle all these polygons. Right now we have 16 million polygons, which we obviously don't need. So I am just decimating these parts, and I am basically just going to be decimating everything. So first thing first, you can see that I am decimating the close, and the ratio is 0.1, and it is taking its time, so I am just gonna do a cut here. Okay, so you can see that I have decimated it, and now I can actually just apply it. So now we just need to basically repeat the same thing for every other object, and this is gonna be the time lapse because it is repetitive. So I'm just gonna see you after I'm done doing the decimation. Okay, now after the decimation, we can actually just continue modeling the key. So in order to do that, we are going to be adding the cube. So let's just do that, and I've already shown you the shape of the key. So you have the two option here. You can either join the key with the base, so the base and the key is going to be just one single object, or you can just create the key as a separate object and then print it out as a separate object. In this case, I have actually just created the key as a separate, but you can see that I have added the cube and I have extruded it. So now I just need to make the edges a little bit sharper so that it contains its squariness, it won't actually get circular. And now by doing the same crease process, I am basically just getting this shape. But from the top, I want this key to be a little bit tapered down, and you can see this is what I am doing right now, and this is to like give nice looking curve. And from the base, I can actually just increase the size of the key a little bit, as you can see. The reason that I've did this is because this way the key is going to look much better, and it is just going to give much better look. Instead of same thickness, it is like more dynamic and it actually looks better. So that's the reason that I've did it. And now that we have the key, we actually need to decimate it as well. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and as you can see, I am actually just applying it, and now we can just decimate the key as well. After the decimation is done, we're gonna be using this key and basically start boolean this out with the base and the head of the tiger. And the head is also not decimated, so we're gonna have to decimate the head as well. And yep, this is basically what we're gonna be doing in this video. So first thing first, you can see that I have the key selected, and we're gonna have to subtract what is extra in the key right now. So the extra part is what's going inside the base. So we're gonna have to just delete that, and in order to do that, I can just select the base as a difference in the boolean modifier, and now you can see I have basically just deleted the extra part. So we have this going on. So this is what we have, and now we just need to extrude it in order to create a key, and I have missed this face. So I need to select that as well, and now I can taper it down so that it can easily go inside the key. And because this particular key is going to hold the all weight, you can actually decrease the taper a little bit. Don't taper it as much. Maybe your taper might be loose and it does not end up holding the whole weight. So make sure then that you don't taper it too much. Now we just need to do the same thing in the head itself, like in the head area. So I am gonna be selecting the key, and okay, before selecting the key, I think I am gonna do the decimate. So let me just do the decimate and I'll come back. Okay, now we can actually continue working now that the decimation is done. So we are gonna be doing the same thing. It is basically the repetition, and we're gonna have to remove what's extra. So you can see we have used the difference, and now we have the face that is perfectly aligned to the head. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to select the faces, and the easiest way to do it is you can actually select the faces from the side and then remove the extra faces. So I am just gonna do that. So just select the faces from the side, as you can see that I am doing right now. And after you are done, you can actually just deselect all of the extras. So just like do that. And after we are done selecting the right faces, we just need to do the same thing, which means we need to extract it out in order to create a key and then taper it a little bit. So you can see that I'm basically just doing the same thing. I am gonna make this key a little bit longer so that it would be a little bit it won't be loose, and it would be easier for our key to hold down all the weight. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. And the angle, you can actually push the key a little bit up so that the angle would be a little bit better. And this particular angle is still gonna work, so that's totally fine. And now you can actually just do the whole, like right now we have created the male key, right? The middle part is the male key. We just need to use this key and create the female keys, and those female keys are gonna be created in the base and in the head. So first thing first, we're gonna have to boolean these together. Like the base is still a different object, so we're gonna have to just join that together. And I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the female key in the head. So let's actually see. Yes, you can see that I am actually adding the boolean, and this time the difference is going to be the key. Now make sure that you increase the size of the key a little bit by pressing Alt S, so that it would get a little bit smaller. I mean, sorry, it would get a little bit bigger, so that the female key would be slightly bigger and it would be easier for you to put the male key inside. And trust me, I am not the one who have named these key like these. This is how I have learned, and that's how professionals say this as well. So yep, I mean, you ask those guys, okay? It's not my problem. Now I am actually gonna be putting everything as a backup, because let's just say in the future if I were to print this out and the key is a little bit tighter or looser, I can actually go back to this file and increase or decrease the size of the key by pressing Alt S and increasing or decreasing the thickness. But now we need to create a hole, like create a female key in the base. So you can see that I'm actually gonna be boolean these out, and we're basically just gonna be doing the same thing. And after we are done with the female key, we're gonna have to boolean these together, like with the union, so that the names that we have created, the clause that we have created, can be just like one single part. So you can see we have the key, and now all you have to do is you need to select the main key and just scale it down by pressing Alt S, so that it would be a little bit thinner than the female key, so that it can easily just go inside. Now it's time to prepare everything else for the 3D printing, because we have already created the key, but the head itself is not ready for 3D printing because eyeball is different. We need to make sure that the eyeball is also booleaned together, because we need to have a watertight mesh, and it is important for us to create that. Otherwise there might be some errors when we actually slice it in the software. So I am gonna be using the decimate first in order to remove the extra polygons that we don't need. And now with the union, I can actually just select the head, as you can see, and we are basically just going to get a watertight mesh. So you can see this is what we have. Now you can actually just apply it. So after we have applied it, you're gonna be able to see that we are gonna get a one single mesh. So that's basically how you would prepare it for 3D printing, and I am just gonna be doing the same thing for the base. So yeah, this is basically where this video ends, and I am just gonna see you in the next one, because there are going to be some next ones. So yes, see you, and bye bye.